Ed Short Fuse Herman.
Hey, what's up, man?
How are you? Angel Cordero from the MMA Truth in Puerto Rico.
Right on, man. I'm good.
How's family? How's being back in the rodeo?
Hey, man, family's good. It's good to be back fighting, get some exposure, so I appreciate it.
For the benefit of those fans that have been following MMA for the last year, what exactly happened to you? What was the nature of the injury, and how was the process of getting back on track?
Well, I tore my ACL and some meniscus in my fight against Aaron Simpson, and then I was back to training the following January, and I reached it all. So I'd had the surgery out. So I was out for almost 2 years. Rough getting back, just dealing with not any income really coming in, and wondering if my knee would hold up. It was a rough couple years, but everything turned out well, and back fighting, and my knee feels awesome. So we go.
Do you think that's a fight that you would like to redo and maybe, get a little bit of payback for what happened in the fight and getting injured, like redo the whole fight?
If it comes, it comes with Simpson. I don't really hold a grudge against him for it. I know he did it on purpose. If it comes, it comes. There's some other guys I'd get my hands on. Pretty much everybody I've lost to, I'd love to get my hands on again. Damien Maya, Alan Poacher. So really, just looking forward to this fight on February 4th. Take it one fight at a time and go my way, then hopefully get a shot at the top 10.
Amazing. I gotta say, as an MMA fan, that you're one of my favorite fighters. The way you fight and you always bring it, and it's good to have you back, man. I was really excited to hear that you were coming back against Team Crater, who is also one of my favorite fighters, and really excited to be able to talk to you and to see you back in the octagon. But before we talk about your next fight, your division has gone crazy the last couple years. What can you tell me about what's going on in the division with Chael Sonnen, with Michael Bisping, with Anderson Silva? How do you see your division right now?
I think the division's, it's really stacked right now. There's a lot of good guys, fighting for their shot at the title. A lot of guys right there in the running for the title. It's great. I'm excited to be a part of it, I feel, and I look forward to getting my hands on some of those guys. Sheldon looked that great in his fight. I don't know, he looked just a little flat. He did enough to win, but I was hoping he would dominate Bisping a little bit more, just being a friend of his, But sometimes, they're not pretty. You got to win any way you can.
Could you tell before the fight that he was a little bit off, or you just noticed that, while the fight was happening?
He looked a little fucked up, just like in the face. He looked a little bit dehydrated. But, you can't really tell too much by looking at a guy. But he just didn't quite look like himself. He wasn't quite as intense as like when he fought Nathan Marquardt. If you look back at that fight, he was so intense, man. So sometimes the weight cut can bother you, different things happen. Hard to say.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, a couple of days before the fight, I told one of his striking coaches that he looked a little bit dehydrated, or actually the word that I used was deflated. And I agree. His face looked completely drawn in, and he wasn't himself. Well, not to take anything away from Michael Bisping, but that was a 50% Chael against 100% Bisping.
Right.
He won, so he gets a rematch with Silva. How do you think that fight is gonna go?
I think it could go real similar to the fight. Hopefully this one and not lose at the very end again. But I see it going real similar, man. But at the same time, I don't know if Anderson's going to fight Chael. We'll see.
Who would you pick if you were not a fighter or an employee of the UFC and you were about to put money on someone? Who would you pick?
Trail for sure.
Of course, yeah.
Yep.
Stupid
Go.
question, kinda, right?
Well, I'm not the best. I'm not the best person to ask about betting either, because I sometimes go with my heart over what isn't always the best way to make a bet.
Yeah, I try when I predict fights, I try to go by records and not by my heart, because I like a lot of fighters that are not worth crap. A lot of them, so.
Yeah.
So your third fight since your layoff, this is gonna be your third fight, and you're in a huge event with a huge main event, and a fight that could probably be a good candidate for fight of the year this year. So what do you think of the main event, and how would you break it down?
And that main event, I'm excited to go back and get changed and come out and be a spectator for that fight. It's going to be, I think it'll be a great fight. Hopefully, I'll see more bonuses for me. Two fights, the main event guys stole the bonuses away from me in some sense with knockout of the night and my last fight, submission of the night. They kind of stole it away from me in the main event, so I hope they have a great fight, but I hope they don't steal my bonus this time.
Yeah, yeah, because I know a very good place of where you can go and spend that bonus. So
Yeah.
who are you rooting for in this fight, and how would you explain this fight to a new fan of MMA?
I'm probably going to root for Diaz. But just this should be a good fight, man. Diaz just is relentless, and Carlos Condit has, I think, a very big heart and will. So I think it's going to be hard for Nick Diaz to break him down like he has his other opponents. Condit comes in good shape as well, so man, it's just going to be fireworks. I don't know who's going to win. I'm kind of pulling for Diaz, but the Condit's a great competitor too that I respect, so it should be just an awesome fight.
How would you compare these two fighters against GSP, and who do you think would have the best chance against GSP?
I think Diaz will have the best chance against GSP just because his striking is probably better than St. Pierre. St. Pierre's been winning a lot of fights with his jab and outboxing guys. Um, you know, and Diaz is a scary guy to take down too. He's good off his
Yeah,
back. So I think Condit's a little bit better matchup for Diaz. For St. Pierre. But both guys are really tough. I think styles make fights. So either way, though, either one of those guys against Pierre should be a pretty awesome fight. Both push the pace.
yeah. Well, I'm sure it's gonna be a hell of a fight. I basically can put my money on this fight being at least top three fight of the year. Definitely.
Yeah, you would think so, but a lot of people thought that about maybe Dos Santos and Velasquez too,
And
but that one
yeah,
made you never know. You never
yeah,
know.
but that one in particular, I knew that either Junior Dos Santos was knocking really early in the first round, or Kane was gonna destroy him in a couple of rounds. That
True.
didn't caught me off guard. And I really thought it would be longer, and that Kane would use his wrestling at least some of it. But I actually expected a lot more from Damian Maya and Chris Weidman last
Oh man,
Saturday.
so did I.
Yeah,
Yeah, so did I. I was pretty disappointed in that fight. Um, I really wanted to see, Weidman get tested and see him go into deep waters and have the pressure put on him and see how good his submission game was. But,
yeah.
it just turned into an ugly boxing match, really.
Do you think that Damian is abandoning his jiu-jitsu, and that what actually turned him into one of the best middleweights in the UFC, and he's like driving away from it.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. He just didn't look right. He looked flat. He looked like something was wrong. I don't think he's abandoning his jiu-jitsu. I just don't think I don't know, he just didn't have a chance to really use it. I was kind of disappointed in that fact. I was hoping to see him, work his jiu-jitsu more, and I was wanting him to win because, I lost to him. So anybody I lose to, I want them to win. You look a little better. So, I was a little disappointed in that fight. I was hoping for a little more fireworks.
Who would you think that could help your way into the top of the division right now? Who would you like to face that would bring you up a couple notches?
Gosh, like I really need to be in the top 10. I'd be looking after this. Not looking past Griffin Starks at all. He's a tough guy. On this fight, but any of those guys, man, I think like a Brad, good fight. Really, anything you can get. Right.
All right, so talking about your next opponent, Clifford Starks, this guy is undefeated, has only one fight in the UFC. He looked good, but a decision win. How do you think you stack up against this guy, and what do you know about him, and what do you expect from this fight?
I pretty much know what everybody else has seen. He looks like he's a decent wrestler, athletic guy. He is 8-0, but I don't think he's fought the competition that I have. I feel like it's a very good matchup for me. My wrestling's pretty solid. I feel like my hands, I have more experience with my hands. My hands have really been coming together the last couple of years. My submissions as well. So I feel like if we stand, I'm going to have the advantage. I feel like if we're in the clinch, I have the advantage. If he does manage to take me down, I feel like my submission game is well above his, and that I could submit him off my back if I needed to. Or take him down and beat him up and submit him on top like I've done before. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's a great matchup for me, and I can't see how this guy's going to beat me.
Well, for him, it's a very good matchup. Only his second fight in the UFC, fighting a guy that's fought big names before. How do you? I don't want you to look past him, but after this fight, do you think that you probably going to be like a stepping stone for more newcomers, like they did with Mike Pierce at 170, or would you rather get bigger names so you can climb the ladder a little bit faster?
I would rather get bigger names, to climb the ladder. You never know with some of these new guys coming in, it can be a dangerous fight because if no one knows who they are, and you win, you're supposed to win. If you lose, then it's a huge deal, a huge break on, a huge hit to your career. So it's very dangerous fighting these up and coming guys.
Yeah, I agree. What can we expect from Ed Herman at this fight, and what can you say to the people from Puerto Rico?
You're going to expect the same me. I come out there and I put it all on the line. I'm going to throw down, and I'm going to come after this guy. Push the pace. I'm in great shape. My weight's better than it's ever been right now, and I'm healthy, and I just am mentally, physically more confident, I think, than I've ever been. I'm just in a good place in my life. So you expect me to come out there and show some more improvements, and hopefully show an exciting fight and get a good finish for the fans. Also, I want to thank the fans of Puerto Rico for sure. It's great to see them getting involved in MMA. I know there's some shows out there as well, and I look forward to coming out there and taking my family out for vacation. We've been talking about it recently, so I really hope to get out there and experience the culture. And one of my favorite things to do is eat food, since we're always dieting. So I'm excited to come out there and try the food and just experience the culture and see how beautiful Puerto Rico is.
Ed, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. I'm really looking forward for your next fight, man, and more so of you visiting Puerto Rico and be able to show off how cool my country is and how passionate the MMA fans are here.
Great. Well, thank you so much for having me on. It's great to do something out of the ordinary. Like in Puerto Rico, there's a lot of local stuff in the U.S., but it's cool to get out there outside of the mainland and do some press. So I appreciate you giving me the opportunity, and look forward to coming out there and meeting you as well.
Any shout outs you want to send out?
Oh yeah. My gym, childsmma.com, all my students, everybody down at the Grudge Training Center and Easton Jiu-Jitsu, all the guys helping me out, and Rev Gear and Dethrone for always sticking by me and sponsoring me. So I'm very thankful for all of that.
Sure, man. Thank you very much.
All right, brother.
Take care.